What's going on, everybody? We're live here with episode 7 of the Weekly Walkoff MLB podcast. We got a lot to talk about today, including the return of Fernando Tatis Jr., Max Muncy on absolute fire. We'll talk Sorare MLB, who's hot, best buys and stacks for the week, candy code breakers, and a whole lot more. We got an E-Rod giveaway midstream as well. Off to a good start. Please do not let me forget about that, but that'll be just for the people here in the chat. If you're watching this on the recording, make sure to tune in next time. We're here every single Sunday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Nate and Greg, what's up, boys?
How we doing?
Doing well. I had to dust off my socks. I literally dusted off. There's actual dust still on it, which I will take off during the show. But after that monster inning, huge 8th inning.
Big eighth. Yoshida getting hot.
Welcome in, FC Porto player. Welcome in, Soul Bro. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that game. It's fresh. We got a huge inning. Talk about that from Yoshida. I heard that in the Discord today. He had a home run and a grand slam in the same inning.
Yep. Yeah. Sox were down 1 in the 8th, and Justin Turner and Yoshida went back-to-back solo shots to make it 5-4, and then the wheels just completely fell off and culminated in a Yoshida grand slam to cap the whole thing off. It was a big 9-run inning to solidify the dub.
12-5 for the good guys. Nice.
Mm-hmm. Against the Brewers, the not too shabby Brewers, and Corbin Burns too, who started the game.
Not a shabby win,
but still last in the division. But over 500.
You know what? They look a lot better than I thought they were going to.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, and maybe Yoshida's the key. Him turning it on.
We need
filling in for Bogarts
and Duran. Jaron Duran looking good.
Oh my God! I did not to go off on a tangent, but I went pretty heavy on Duran on candy because it was just hundreds and hundreds of 50-cent uncommons, and so I didn't buy hundreds. I bought like maybe 20, and then he just was a absolute disaster at the end of last season. So I was like, oh, that's money burned away. But now, here he is.
He's coming back, huh? I mean, Pivetta had a nice little week this week. He's been looking strong this year. I know the pitching is seems to be the weak point for the Sox, but I mean, that division, I mean, there's still a lot of baseball left. We just saw the Yankees lose their first series of the entire season. So the Jays took them down in their first series loss. They had split one, but not lost one. So we like that. Yeah,
absolutely.
We do. That's the big caveat to the Sox looking better is that they have yet to play the Yankees or the Jays this season. So
yeah, and when they played the Rays, it went very poorly.
Yeah, do they have a win in their division? Let's see.
Yeah, they played well against Baltimore to start the year, but after that,
FC Porto player is a Jays fan. I am as a we'll get into it later, but the Weekly Walk-Off Team League. I mean, there was some high stakes on the line this week. I was telling Greg here that I can't wait till it comes down towards the end of the season and every run matters on the run differential. We had a nice series, the Stros and the Braves, and then again, 2 of my teams playing up against one another, the Jays and the Yanks this week. So lots of good stuff going on there. John Riley, welcome into the stream today. Welcome into the stream.
I thought of you yesterday with Adolis Garcia with 3 home runs in the 5th inning.
Ooh.
And I was like, 4. We didn't specify it, but 4 home runs is definitely like a 25-point bonus in our little stack thing. So
that's insane.
But
what
narrowly
a game.
Narrowly missed it.
Let's take a look in here at, I guess, just the division standings real quick. What jumped out at you guys this week? I mean, I'll brain dump, vomit, whatever you want. I mean, I had a couple of highlights. Tatis Jr.'s back. Muncy is just going insane. I think 11 bombs this year. Scherzer gets suspended since we last talked. What are you guys watching? Oh, yeah, Cubs went crazy Cubs went crazy against the Dodgers on Friday, 13-0. Kind of a shocking one. What are you guys looking at? We'll look at the standings here too.
I think it's way too early, but the Rangers, that
was the first thing I was going to say as well.
And the run differential, as I'm literally typing it in. But
there we go.
Man, that's good to see. I'm kind of rooting for the Rangers in that division. I mean, I'm rooting for the Angels, but the Angels going to Angel. So if the Rangers can pull off something over the Astros, that's going to be exciting.
That would be cool.
Oakland
DeGrom,
off to a historic pace in that division as well.
Yeah.
we'll talk about that too. I mean, like that's one thing where you gotta look. That's the absolute first place that you look every single week when it comes to stacks, right? And it's the Angels A's stacked coming up this week.
And hold on a second. Hit refresh on that. Negative 100 run differential.
Yeah,
Just
refresh.
by the moment, just dropping by the moment. 103.
And forgot to mention the A's to Vegas.
Oh yeah,
is the news of the week too. So lots of MLB news going on today. In the chats, let us know what you're hearing out there. I mean, like we want to know what you guys are watching as well. So make sure to drop it in. Let us know who you're playing, all that good stuff.
I think I had mentioned that I was playing an anti-Moneyball fantasy baseball league where the objective is to play players that play poorly but play a lot. So they need to be on the field, throwing pitches, getting at-bats. And at this point, my team has 3 of the Oakland Athletics starting pitchers on it. So that's a stack that I'm pretty proud of in the anti-Moneyball league.
One of the things I remember that when you sent over your roster for that league, sadly, it made me so sad to see, but Mad Bum on the roster, which was great, but he got DFA'd, so he's not there
which is hilarious because actually forgot to put him in the starting lineup this week, and that ended up being the start that was so bad, which means it was so good that it got him off the team. So would have been an 80 point showing, and but luckily pulled off the win anyway.
Wow. What a way to stay rounded in the best and the worst of baseball, an anti-Moneyball league. I'm going to get in that action next year.
You think Mad Bum gets picked up somewhere?
I think he does.
I feel like he does. He has to. At least
there are enough bad teams in the MLB.
Yeah.
Back to SF, mid-relief.
Or Oakland.
Wouldn't be bad in Oakland. I did watch an Oakland game this week. Hayden Wesneski against the A's looked tough. I mean, he's a big caliber starting pitching prospect, one of the top rookies, and he just looked solid. I mean, he looked solid against the A's, but still his stuff looked nasty, and he's fun to watch.
Yeah, I haven't seen him yet. I'm aware of him. Have him in my regular fantasy league, but have not actually watched him pitch yet. So I need to make that happen.
Yeah, I recommend it. It was a fun one to watch for sure. A couple comments here. Soulbro thinks Mad Bum is done. John Riley thinks to the pen. I think to the pen. But I mean, he's fierce, man. Who knows? Maybe he's just still built for October. Maybe someone will pick him up and give him a start in the World Series.
I wouldn't hold my breath.
There we go.
Well, Ronnie, you want to see where we stand in our little team draft?
Let's take a look. Yeah, pull it up.
I just updated it.
All right, here we go. Right here. Break it down for us.
So, reminder that a win is 2 points, and then run differential, which changes by the minute during games, is just plus or minus depending on overall run differential. Milestones being cycles, 4 homer games, no hitters, triple plays, all the things that make national headlines, are 25 points each, and then lots of points to come at the end of the season. So Nate has been in the negatives for every week, but has crawled his way out. So things are looking up. But way too early to tell. But I think Eric, you've been in the lead every week so far.
No, you had me 1 week.
I did, yeah. So Arise is my only bright spot here with this cycle.
I mean, the fact that I'm losing to the team that has the A's it's a tough look.
I know. My saving grace is that I have the Rays. If I didn't have the Rays, I would be easily in last place.
Yep.
But those almost even out. So
nice. We back to the runner for the A's with the worst run differential. We'll take a look at some other stuff here too, but first, a comment from DJ Local. Minter has some rough outings. I just made a trade with DJ Local here for a Minter. I'm cool with that. We'll get into the relief pitcher situation in the So Rare segment here, but man, relievers have been so tough. I've been trying to build a little bit of stability, or what at least I hope to be stability with relievers. But, I think I tend to think Minter might be all right. I mean, he could be a potential buy low. He's already ran up quite a little bit, but I'm okay with Minter as a buy right now. If he does tend to dip, that could be a good one. Luckily, I picked up Brian Abreu, and Greg brought up a great point for like a best buy segment. So I'll talk about some of the buys that I've made this week in So Rare. But Brian Abreu was one of them. Got him for $5 on auction. Got 2 saves this week, so that was huge. Yeah. Let's take a look. I guess, just to cap off, I think another thing that you had thrown out earlier, Greg, was that the Pirates are on top in the Central.
Yeah.
16-7. Are you kidding me?
The Sox gave him a whole bunch of those, unfortunately.
That's true.
So did the Cards, though.
And their young starlet O'Neal Cruz is down and out.
Yeah, that was a tough play to watch.
Oof.
But good for them. It's Cinderella story for McCutchen back in his hometown. Take him to the playoffs, baby.
I just hope those fans enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Their pitching is not too shabby. They're looking okay. What's next? Anything in terms of players? What's jumping out on the board in terms of players? And we'll ride into. Maybe we could take a look at last week's top performers on So Rare, and then kind of look into what players are on fire. Muncy leading the league in home runs with 11. Pete Alonso, Patrick Wisdom.
Yeah,
Wisdom's an interesting one for sure.
And James Outman too. Like he has, I live amongst a bunch of Dodgers fans, and he is the bright spot of their season. He and Muncy, obviously. Like, who'd have thought? Who'd have thought at the beginning of the year?
Yeah, so many question marks around the Dodgers, and 2 names that weren't the names we're used to hearing for sure.
You'd have to think with a team like the Dodgers that Freeman bets they come back around, they're going to be just all right. Julio Urias was the one who got shelled in Chicago, and Kershaw's look good too. So a lot of young prospects there. We'll see how that ends up going, but yeah, some surprise names up at the top here. Definitely Outman and Wisdom are a couple of them. We'll see how they can stay hot.
Alonso just got announced as a candy ambassador too, so nice to see him up the top of that leaderboard.
There we go. We got lots of hot candy action today on this stream, actually. We're talking the ambassador. Ross Stripling gets the nod on Sunday Night Baseball today, too. So that's something to note. My Giant, he's taking the hill. That's your guy right there.
Yep.
So we'll get into our picks at the end of the stream here. But yeah, I think maybe we take a look at pitching stats real quick, too. Who's jumping out at you guys in terms of pitching right here? Cole with another good start.
Zach Gallen's the story right now. Isn't he leading the league in strikeouts? Check me on that. I think he is, though. I think his last start put him over.
DeGrom passed him today. Gosman passed him today.
Okay.
So that's kind of nice too. I was going to mention, I was a little bit hesitant to play DeGrom this week after him coming out. What was it? 3 or 4 innings in KC last week, but he went 6 strong with 11 strikeouts.
Yeah. Great matchup too against Kansas City
in Oakland. Yeah.
Or was it Oakland? Yeah. Oakland. Sorry.
Yeah. And Pablo Lopez still looking good. McClanahan, Logan Webb, Strider, who we got up there?
You know who had the best week of all time is Vince Velasquez.
Oof.
On the Pirates. He I scooped him not in So Rare. I wish it was So Rare. Actually, I have him in So Rare. But I scooped him on my fantasy team, and he scored 52 points with 2 starts in a reliever spot.
Nice.
Wow.
Which absolutely saved my season, I think, because I'm 0-3. But yeah, out of nowhere.
That's the Pirates. Pirates sneaking up on you right now.
Yeah.
Velasquez is definitely the guy that I look to over there, looking pretty good. So that is nice. Yeah, Gallen is looking good too. I think Gallen had a rocky first start against the Dodgers, but then has looked pretty dominant since. Had some action on that game against San Diego on Friday night when he got the start, and that looked pretty good. So heating up a little bit too with the Nerfies and hits, runs, RBIs, 2 for 2 on the weekend. Had Varsho over this today with I think Javier and Freed Nerfy. So pretty nice. Upcoming this week, want to chat what's coming up this week, and we can pop into kind of So Rare do the giveaway, and then fire off into candy.
Sounds good.
What are you guys looking at? What are you guys looking at coming up this week? I'll pull up the schedule here.
Yeah, let's see that. I'm always. I mean,
Angels is a big one.
Let's let the Angels get back into first place contention with that series.
Okay, Waldichuk, Suarez. Let's see if there's any good pitching. I always love the pitching matchups to look at too. Strider against Miami. Okay.
Jose Urquidy versus Taj Bradley. Didn't Taj Bradley have like a uncut diamond? Taj Bradley have like a dominant start last, like huge start for the Rays.
He did. Yeah. He had a good start. I don't know what his stat line was. Could look it up, but I think it was a solid first outing for Bradley. What else do we got? Scrolling down here.
Nestor Cortez versus Joe Ryan. The Yankees play the Twins. That'll be good. Joe Ryan's been fun. Incredible.
That's your guy too, Joe Ryan on candy. Yeah. I like that. Yeah, that's a good one too. Anything else tasty on here? Who are the four game teams this week?
Let's see.
Who's playing on? So on Thursday,
Atlanta's got 4. Yep. Baltimore's got 4. The Cubs, the White Sox, Detroit, KC, Angels, Miami, Minnesota.
A lot of them.
Yankees, Oakland, and St. Louis, Giants, Tampa Bay, Texas, and that's it.
That's more than half the league. It's got to be.
A lot of them.
Rattled off a bunch of names there. So a lot of good baseball coming up. I think obviously the main stack would be, when I think of stacks, I just went to that run differential right off the rip. Leading the league at the bottom of the run differential, the A's just by far. And then you got the Rockies and the Royals too. So
Arizona is another great stack too. Stack opponent.
Who are you stacking over there? Who are you liking? I know Walker's got the day off today.
Or no, I'm saying anybody against Arizona.
Okay.
But Arizona is a good stack at Colorado for the second game week of this week as well.
Yeah. What are you guys thinking about? I don't know. Have you followed Jake McCarthy at all? That's one question that I have in my fantasy league, right? Maybe you guys can give me some advice on fantasy. I know you played a lot longer than I have, but I have a pretty deep bench and I have some speed, not a ton of speed. So I like McCarthy in there getting the bags. He's got some power too. He's been riding the bench for the most part, and he's been riding the bench for the D-backs a little bit too. But my only reason to drop him would be to add like a streaming spot for starting pitchers. And I'm pretty dang close to doing it, man. I mean, I got some bag stealers like on the bench that I can kind of put in my fast lineups when I need to, as opposed to power. But yeah,
I would say unless you're in a super deep league where everybody has value, like if you're in just a regular 10, 12 team league, I don't hesitate to rotate the back third of my lineup without thinking too hard about it, because fantasy baseball is a long season. And if you don't ride the hot hands off the waiver wire, you're going to lose. So especially young guys that are unproven, could he heat up and you lose out on him? For sure. But my opinion, my philosophy in fantasy baseball is that you got to, especially in the first 6 weeks of the season, that's where those guys that you pick somebody up and you get lucky and now you get a whole season out of them. So I have that philosophy with fantasy baseball, using my free agent auction budget. You're better off spending it early because you're getting more value for it. And it's the same thing with being willing to swap guys out in fantasy baseball early season. Highest chance you're going to get to use them for 5 months.
Smart. Yeah. One caveat with my league though is that we have a really high amount of transactions per week. So I'm in and out 10 transactions per week max. So streaming pitchers is something, and we play quality starts instead of wins. So streaming pitchers for quality starts, kind of really playing that ERA. is something intriguing to me, especially since I do have some speed. So I'm probably going to drop him or try to move him at least for some piece. But we got some advice in here from John Riley too. It's a sharp move, actually, really sharp. Miller from Oakland. Unfortunately, somebody beat me to the punch on that. Bradley, another good one. And then Solbro already dropped McCarthy in a fantasy league. So writing must be on the wall.
How deep is your bench? Like how many spots?
The bench is 4.
Nice.
Yeah, 4 on the bench. So right now I have one bench guy, one bench pitcher that I like, and then it was Eduardo Rodriguez. I actually picked him up to stream Erod, and I'm just deciding to keep him because he's looking really good.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. And then a couple of IL spots. I also have Harrison Bader coming back to later on in the season on the IL. So he'll add some speed. I think McCarthy is just, time to be done.
I'm into
Yeah.
that.
I'll keep an eye on him.
I'll ask your fantasy advice too. I've been sitting on Severino as a pitcher I don't have an IL spot, so he's been taking up a valuable bench spot. He's still not due back for 3 weeks, I think, 2 weeks. I feel like I just gotta part ways, right?
How many teams in your league?
10.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a 10-team league, probably part ways. But pitching, especially starting pitching, is a way tougher drop than a guy like McCarthy, who's a hitter, unproven, because pitching's it's the hardest part of fantasy baseball by far.
Yeah.
So if there's somebody on the wire, if there's another pitcher on the wire that's performing right now, easily make the swap. But if there's not, and you're just going to be picking up like a middle reliever or a back end bench guy, then I might wait and see what I got.
You'd be surprised how many incredible players are out there.
Then drop him.
I might, yeah. I could get Bradley, who has 2 starts this week. Just get him. Yeah.
Easy.
Nice.
Like that. Yep.
All right.
There we go. Let me pull up the So Rare stream. And with that, we'll kick off the giveaway. Not going to do it quite yet, but if you're here live in the stream, the giveaway is for you. Decided to do that. I picked up a nice Erod off the market about 2 hours ago. $5. The next lowest floor price was $8. So a weak floor there. He's looked really good. Hashtag Erod, EROD in the chat for a chance to give away. And we'll do that at the end of this So Rare MLB segment here. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. Throw a like on this stream. Make sure to comment. If you're watching afterwards, again, check us out every Sunday. All right. So top players on the week. Here's how I'm looking. I got Bogarts live. I'm in 59th place. So to score in the rare all-star would be nice in a tier 3 top 50. That would be sweet. This is kind of my throwaway lineup, and we did okay. 118th with Salvi still on the board.
Yeah, there you go.
And then, I would call it a mistake. I decided to go, as you would say, Greg, contrarian on the common all-star. I said, go big or go home, right? Like I'm stacking the Jays against the Yankees, hoping that, somebody can get to Garrett Cole and then that they can, really jump on Clark Schmidt and Domingo Germán. And it came out okay. Like Bichette was the one guy out of there. Varsho had a big day today. And, Chapman I put in the flex, didn't do much. So I had a flex spot open for, I probably would have put, I left Ronald Acuna out in the lineup. And of course, I probably will never do that again. So I figured what the Astros did to the Jays. Their arms just look so good. And I left Riley out too, and that actually ended up playing because they only scored like 15. But Acuna has got to be in there. Too electric.
You're still in the top 8% there, so you can't be too mad about it. It's easy to look at that 13th, 100th place and feel like you did something wrong. But I think that anytime you end up getting a common tier 2, it was a pretty solid week coming in that top 25%. But yeah, you're right there.
How'd we do, guys? You Nate and
Go ahead, Greg.
I'm scared to show you. So I'll caveat this with I have treated Sorare very, very casually. I haven't gone shopping really, so I just have like a bunch of dudes, and I try to build the best lineup every week. But I do not and have not seeked out the top performers. So pop
into the stream.
This will be painful right here. This limited pro lineup that I just threw together without really thinking. Goose eggs from basically two of my players, but absolute domination for everyone else. So 7 points away from a closest reward, putting up a 0 is pretty painful.
Yeah.
Pretty painful. But yeah. So yeah, I just haven't taken the plunge yet. I've scooped a little here and there, but outside of common, I haven't like gone deep into the limited stuff. But this give me a taste. This give me a taste. I might go shopping after this, just so this doesn't happen again.
Yeah, getting the feet wet, building the gallery for some depth. We had this conversation in my Discord, about like, you know, the people really spending big money versus the people who are playing Moneyball with it, right? Like there's ways to come out over the span of a long season. You know, if you're good, if you're sharp, you know, you could put some numbers up and earn some weeks, but on a consistent basis, it's a lot harder. But hey, you know, like obviously at the same time, you don't want to be throwing your money away on $5 cards and not yielding anything. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a little bit of a, you know, push and pull versus, you know, like who should you buy versus who should you like more so invest long-term in. And that's what I've been kind of looking at too. And, you know, when it comes to the relief pitchers, I'm kind of like throwing out a couple different options. Hey, kitty cat.
Yeah, sorry. Smallest Red Sox fan in the
fluffy one. So yeah, I mean, like I made a couple of buys on Sorare this week, and one of them was Lindor. It was just, I think, one of the superstars that I thought was undervalued the most. Got it on auction for 55. So I think the lowest manager sale was like 63. So about, you know, 10%, a little bit more than that under. And yeah, so I've been doing that, and then again picked up a Minter on trade. Shout out DJ Local. Picked up you know, Brian Abreu, little things here and there.
I did not have a great week in Sorare. I don't know if you want to pull mine up. Yeah, there we go. So basically the way that I play is that I try and put what I think is my best lineup in limited pro. And then I've got enough limited cards at this point that I put the leftovers in limited all-star, which they're not slouch players, but they just have worse matchups and maybe one less game. So this week got bit by the pitcher bug overall. Offensive lineup did more than enough to be relevant. And, you know, I'm still right there at 517, but -2 from Whitlock, not going to get the job done. And Corbin Burns obviously looking to get more than 16. So a lot of wasted points offensively. Semion's been hot. Castellanos hit his first 2 of the season in one game. That was a card that I picked up for $5 this offseason that has been nice to have. And then looking like I should be able to pick up a tier 2 common in common all-star. But yeah, the limited all-star squad not getting the job done either. So I did have a good week 2 weeks ago. I wasn't here for the show last week, but I had my best finish. Let's see. I think it was what was it? Game week 5. Yeah. So I ended up finishing 28th in limited all-star, which is ironic.
Nice.
It's the team that I'm thinking is, you know, my secondary squad, but blind squirrel, something or other. Semien, you know, just went off, and despite Manaea getting me 12, the rest of the squad just did it. So ended up getting a tier 2 limited on that, which ended up being Kalenic, who I'm still sitting on. Thought I was going to sell him, but I don't know. There's upside there. Kind of fun. So yeah, this was a good week. I cashed in both limited contests, got a tier 5 Higashioka, or however you say that. Sold him for a couple bucks, but held on to the Kalenic, and yeah, solid week. Having fun still.
244 is a big boy number, Nate. I like that. That was nice.
It was a nice week. It was a nice week for sure.
There's a couple updates too. Some really cool updates. Yeah, I'll want to dive into the market, like to kind of cap off the Sorare segment right before the giveaway. Just some fun like market dives on, you know, maybe the Angels and some big stacks coming up, and like some of the guys that are kind of surging right now. But a couple of quick updates on Sorare. They increased the amount of common cards that you can hold on your roster for an entire season from 15 to 26, which I thought was nice. 15 was going to start to get really tight, and you're going to have to drop a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then they also allowed you to pick your position that you're replacing. So within the tiers that you're looking for, once you do your swap, you can choose starting pitcher, relief pitcher, corner, middle, or outfielder. So a little fun wrinkle to an improvement, I think, on the common process, which is a super fun way to get new people involved and kind of grow. Haven't been following number for number the weekly contest. I'm going to continue, like I'm going to update my spreadsheet, which I haven't done in a while, but just to follow the numbers of total growth throughout the season will be interesting to see, and can make some like charts on that. But yeah, I thought it was a cool way to get some people involved.
There was a big spike in common entries this week, which I believe is because it was myself included, first week where a lot of people could field 2 lineups. And so then you don't necessarily have a huge spike in users, but you have a huge spike in entries. So I know that it was my first week that I could put 2 full common lineups out there.
How so? You mean like one in the minors and one in the...
Yeah, one in All-Star and then one in minors.
Okay, yep. Got it. So like that. Okay, makes sense.
So yeah, not this week, but here we go. Right here. Yeah. So my second lineup is not competitive yet. You know, Torkelson, Yastrzemski, but so I still played my best lineup for All-Star. But I figured if you're going to get a common card anyway, I may as well get up to that 26 as fast as possible. So I threw out a minors lineup, and so I'll get 2 free cards this week.
Really good point. Point. You might as well, because once you hit that point anyways, then you're going to have to drop cards. So you could just drop off the lowest,
right?
You know, lowest guy in the deck that you got. Mm-hmm. I love that. Nice.
Shall we do a little live swap by committee?
Yeah, let's do it.
I use my swap today.
Yeah,
there we go. Swap by committee.
All right. I have so many arms. But
yeah, keep scrolling.
It honestly probably would have been Yoshida until
he stuck with Yoshida. I ditched him in the final week that he was a tier 1, and I'm glad that I did.
I went in and I hit swap for him, and I didn't like the option, so I exited out. But
who else do we got? Trey Turner, Olsen. Olsen's been slumping. I think he's going to come back around. Will Smith,
I think so too.
You're going to want to hang on to him, but he's, you know, out for another series, so he's not playing this game week, out with concussion. So I actually think I traded out like one of my lower relievers for Barnes, but you know, I wasn't going to use either of them. So
I don't really like to use my swap on anybody lower than tier 2, because I feel like I feel like the whole point of swapping, in my opinion, is to just play the small lottery of upgrading within a tier. And we have good enough cards that we're not really playing tier 3s anyway. So to me, it's kind of like pick Bieber, Gosman, Green, Stroman, or go up to tier 1, pick, you know, a slightly struggling Turner or struggling Olsen, and see if you get Judge or J-Rod or whatever. That's just my opinion on it. I just don't see a ton of value in swapping a tier 3 or worse in this, when we're really only trying to start our 7 best guys anyway.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Olsen might be a tier 2. I would say, I mean,
down a tier 2.
You could try to sell high on Stroman. I mean, he's looked really nice, but I mean,
I can look up if Olsen's in tier 2 for you right here.
I'm almost sure.
Yeah, odd that they don't have like a signifier.
He's still in tier 1. So if you wanted to, so that's the kind. So I messed up on this. When I swapped my Yoshida, I got Bogarts, and then he fell down into tier 2 before I was able to swap him up. So if Olsen's struggling, I mean, he's just had bad matchups, honestly. I think that's what it is, because I have him in Sorare. But it's the kind of guy where you swap him before he falls into tier 2 potentially, and you hope, and then you can always back out of it. So I might go with Olsen.
Let's do it.
Nice.
I've been going outfielder because it's got Judge, J-Rod, and Acuna.
Yeah,
I just been doing it every time.
I'm low on outfielders anyway.
Ooh. Spicy.
Oh,
This is a
damn.
spicy swap. Let's
Oh,
go.
man. Oh, man. I mean, shit.
What's your initial thought? Just looking at it without having to make a decision. What does your brain say first, Nate? I
Probably a Rosarena, but yeah, you guys tell me.
No. I want to hear it's your team. I want to hear your thoughts.
I mean, when I saw it, a Rosarena pop first, but
yeah.
James votes Corbin Carroll. Let's see.
Okay.
What do you guys think in the chats? What do you think in the chats? We're close to the giveaway here. If you haven't typed in hashtag Erod yet, type in hashtag Erod right now. We'll do the giveaway after this. James votes Corbin. My initial thought was Randy.
Yeah. My initial thought was Randy, unless you want to get cheeky and go Outman.
John Riley, RA.
I mean, I just worry about Outman just falling off at any given moment.
I think Arozarena is the play. Dude's red hot.
He's the only real proven player in this batch.
And he's on a team that's red hot too, and that matters.
What sometimes you forget though is that you have to compare it to Olsen though. So I may stay Olsen.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't have to do it is the thing. Like you get excited when these 5 guys are staring you in the face and you're like, oh, Randy. But you know, like, will you get a chance to get Olsen back? Who knows? I'm an Olsen guy.
I was going to say the same thing. I think ultimately what I would do is I would stick Olsen here.
Great question here, DJ Local. Can you create a stack with this too? Because, you know, that's something to consider for sure.
I think so.
Yeah, it didn't look like it either. So
no, I haven't done any stackage.
No stack.
Because the other thing too is that I think that Olsen is very likely to either stay tier 1 or push up higher, whereas Arozarena just worked his way into tier 1. He could fall out of favor with people because there is still a collector mentality here, even though it's tied to their game utility. So it's I'd stick Olsen.
All right, we're staying Olsen, but we'll report back next week.
I like that. Nice choice.
Let's see how we did.
Nice choice.
That is such a fun daily piece. I love that is part of it. I really do.
It's really awesome. Let's take a look. We'll cut off the Sorare section here and we'll do the giveaway. I'm excited that I didn't forget the giveaway this time because last time we actually did. Let's take a look at the live marketplace and see what these, you know, like obviously the Angels is the number 1 stack for the week against the A's. So I want to take a look into what the prices are and then maybe even take a look at what Outman's at and guys like Wisdom and Muncy. And then just filter from low to high and then we can drop it in and then talk candy code breakers, talk some candy stuff. How's that sound, guys?
I like it.
Let's do it.
Let me see here. So who are we looking up for? Let's look at Ohtani.
Poor Jake Diekman, 74 cents.
198 for Ohtani. Okay.
Wow.
597 for the rare. Interesting. Okay. Let me take a look at.
I am going to go out on a limb and say that within the context of Sorare, Ohtani is actually overvalued.
Yeah, I would think so.
Because you can only play him on one side and people are paying for him like you can play him both. And I know that you have the luxury of swapping him in a given week, and that is relevant. It's useful. That's really good utility. But to be paying double of what somebody could produce in that spot when you can only play him one or the other, to me, he's overvalued.
200 for Ohtani compared to 61 for Garrett
exactly.
Cole.
You could grab Cole for 60 and you know what's
Trout 142.
I mean, Trout's inflated because he's Trout. What's Acuna?
Acuna is in the 120 range. 144.
So right there, you spend $200 on those two guys that you can start together every week almost. Cole doesn't start every week, obviously, but to me, there's just more value there.
Exactly. So yeah, Trout what was Trout? For the other guys, 142.
Very overvalued.
Yeah. And then who else are we looking at in
You wanna check
Anaheim.
Muncy? Or you gonna check
Ward, Renfroe.
all the Angels?
Ward's a $10 guy. Renfroe is a $24 guy. That seems like a lot to me for Renfroe. Rendon has been.
Is Renfroe playing every day?
Okay. Renfroe is playing every day.
He's in there every day? Okay.
Yeah.
As long as he doesn't take a swipe at a fan again.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Rendon. That was Rendon. Renfroe didn't hit a fan.
Oh, no, I thought we were talking about Rendon.
Oh, yeah.
No, I love Renfroe. One of my favorite short-term Red Sox.
Oh, me too. It hurts to see him looking like Mike Trout, both in his swing and his face.
They really do look like the same guy out there. It's unreal.
They're built in both in Angels jerseys. It's uncanny. I have to double take every time one of them's up.
So funny.
Nice. Anyone else that we should look at?
Urshela, Jake Lamb.
They brought up $6, a cheap one. Right there, your Urshela. And then
Zach Neto, if you want to go that route. Although if
I don't even know if he's
only
out.
have rookie cards.
I don't even know if he's out there yet.
So he's probably expensive by default because of the supply, even if he is out
there. Here's the last thing on the So Rare. I keep on saying this. I promise. I'll pick the winner soon. But let's look at Tatis Jr. because he dropped on Friday night. They dropped a load of him on Friday. We have like all of the prices right here, and we'll see the very first one. It went for, let's do dollars. $298, I think, was the number one serial. The first Tatis, $258.
Yeah.
And then the lowest one, good on this person, $99. That's a buy right there. That's a value buy.
Especially right now where it's a contrarian play. Because they didn't make any of his cards last year because he suspended, right? So these are literally the only 6 in circulation at the moment.
Yeah, the only 6.
If he goes off, you're one of the only teams holding it. So that $100 it's got a lot more value to it at this moment.
Then you start to put together the Bogarts and the Tatis stack, like DJ
and Machado are targets right now. That's buy low targets right now. Those guys are struggling. So if you've got the patience for it, those are some buys.
I was looking at Machado the other day.
That heart attack just now. Let me get in there.
So, $56 for Manny Machado. Yeah, that's nice. Soto, probably a lot more expensive, but I got to go Juan.
Gregory.
All right. Both struggling to stay above the Mendoza line right now. So
there we go. 79.
Yeah, but you could probably get his auctions even. No, okay. He's hanging out right there. Soto's got the love. Still want Soto.
Nice. All right, the Erod giveaway. Thanks to all who are in the chat today. And Greg, Nate, feel free. Any final thoughts on So Rare for the week? But let's give away this Erod here, and then we can jump into Candy to stay on schedule for the week. All right. 8 entries. I love the odds of winning. Who's it gonna be? Cool winners. Ooh. Congratulations. Nice.
Winner, cool winners.
Winner, cool winners, baby. Cool winners. Reach out on social. Shoot me a DM on Twitter or pop in the Discord, even better. Let me know what your So Rare manager team name is, and then I'll just send that over to you with an offer of 0 on it. So nice, easy way to gift a 0 offer on a trade. Makes it really smooth and easy to share with friends.
That offer function is so nice. It's so smooth.
It's great. All right. Candy.
It has been, they've been cooking on Candy for better or worse, I guess, but like every day there's something.
Yeah. Hot start to the season for sure. A lot going on. You want me to here, I'll pull up a new share screen here.
We got ambassadors announced. That was fun to see for sure. Cool winners. There we go. Still live in the chat. You love to see that. John Riley, just congrats all around. GG's. Here's the Candy stream.
Yeah, the we can start on what you just said. Actually, Candy just announced their ambassadors. So we saw that Sorare has Soto and Julio, J-Rod. We saw that a few weeks ago. And then Candy followed suit with some ambassadors of their own and some pretty exciting names on here. They've, like you said at the top, Ross Stripling is one of them, which is cool because he's actually a collector.
Yeah.
Buddy of mine, he's been on Talking Candy before, and he has a collection and really enjoys the product. So awesome to have him as an ambassador. And then Anthony Rizzo, who hit a couple home runs over the candy sign early last year. So he's kind of got some cool ties there. And then Jazz Chisholm, Pete Alonso, and Michael Harris. So nice 3 names there to round it out. So Alonso had a real good reaction to his reveal of his 101 last year. So he's got some ties to Candy. So there was clearly some thought that went into who they picked, and I would assume who said yes. So cool to have these guys on board, and looking forward to seeing what they do with that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are our predictions? I guess like both a prediction and then also like what's best case scenario, what these guys bring to the table. I'm not familiar with athlete partner ambassadors for this kind of stuff, but I am familiar with digital marketing, which I do for a living, and I like that they kind of push that out on their own social, all coordinated. I wish it wasn't a Friday afternoon when people are off doing their thing, but I did like that they are getting actually those fan bases involved. I think there needs to probably be a little bit more introduction as to what Candy is for just like a random, Alonso fan that lives in Queens that follows him on Instagram, but it's certainly better than nothing. So I don't know. What do you guys think? What would you want to see out of these guys?
I mean, I hope that they do things that are tied into the product in some way. Yeah. I hope that they got 5 guys that are, even if they're not collecting the way that Stripling is already, I hope it's guys that are legitimately interested in the technology, and at least on some level. I'm not saying that I'm expecting them all to be diehard into this stuff, but if they have that element to it, because we saw last year with a multitude of different interviews that they did with players and revealing their one-of-ones, that some of those videos were great because the reactions were strong and they were actually interested in the technology and being part of that reveal. And there were others that flopped. And so I hope that, and to be expected, right? You're going out on a limb to some extent, but hopefully there was enough homework done with these 5 guys that it will present the opportunity to make some cool content where they can highlight the product, talk about the product, and have these guys push some social posts out like they clearly did the other day. And just, I don't know, I'm not expecting too much, but it's just good PR. It's good to have that be part of the whole equation, I think.
Yeah. I loved how authentic the Rizzo video was last year. Like when they were just sitting down. Was it Hap and Rizzo, those 2 guys that did it together? Or am I mistaken on that? Or did they do it separately?
What team was Hap on? Was Hap on the Cubs already last year?
Hap was a Cub last year.
I thought was it Wisdom and Hap? I forget off the top of my head what the combo was.
But I remember the video pretty specifically of just like them sitting in the stands at the ballpark and talking about Candy. I love stuff like that. Like if we can get some more of that stuff, that'd be great. But I will say, how sweet would it be? Like I don't know if I expect it, but remember back in the day when the NBA guys were doing Top Shot that or whatever. Like, can you imagine a Jazz Chisholm walk-off home run and just being like post-game interview with the Gatorade bucket being dumped on him? Get it on Candy, the play of the week.
Yep. Yeah. That would be cool. That would be huge.
That's the dream. Yep. That's the dream. And we got to take it all with a grain of salt because we had the same kind of fantasy about Top Shot, and that didn't, the player support kind of fizzled out and didn't necessarily move the market, but it did in the moment a little bit. And like what we're missing here, and I wish, hopefully this is the first of many player ambassadors or a very long relationship with these guys.
Yep.
But I wish we had trading. I wish we had trading on the platform before these guys got announced, because imagine how much you could move the market, not only watching what Rizzo is buying and what these guys are buying on a daily basis, but to have them give you or trade you or gift you various moments of their own, various icons of their own, plays of their own, and have that on the blockchain. I mean, I've been saying this since day one. I think in Web3, that's the new player autograph. It's just like, this came from Rizzo and it's a Rizzo icon. That is essentially the autograph. That's all we need. We can see it on there, so it's a great step in the right direction. I just wish there was more functionality. I also don't see these guys getting into it when it's pretty much like a desktop web experience. Like if it was an app and they could have it after the game in the clubhouse or when they're out to dinner and showing, having an easier way to show, judge like, yo, I pulled your epic or whatever. Just getting more guys involved and getting them competitive over kind of which moment's selling for the most, how much one sold for of theirs. Like there's so much potential. And I hope that these guys are getting like educated in what candy is, because even if just one of them is as obsessed with it as we are and the people in the Discord, I feel like there's a lot of growth opportunity and just like free publicity that comes from that. So, long way to go, step in the right direction, but I think there's some cool stuff ahead.
Yeah, just the way I like what you said, just the way to like see what they're doing on it, because we know, I mean, Nate, you had mentioned Jordan Romano collects as well, Top Shot had like a certified ballers program, right? Where they had like a blue check by it, and you could see like, all the new NBA guys who were creating accounts, and you could go in and see their activity. That's super cool. But yeah, again, also the trading aspect of it and the digital autograph too. That would be amazing. So we'll see if we can get some trading on candy this year.
Yeah, we're far away from this, but like I always had a dream of like, it kind of being like a version of Twitter for drama in these leagues. Like who was it that like Vladdy got plunked Saturday?
Yep.
He got plunked against the Yankees. Like imagine if he just like put up that pitcher's icon for sale that night. Right? Like that would be headlines, and it's so funny, and there's so much like drama embedded in that, and that's the best case scenario future in these platforms where we're watching along with them, and that gets bought immediately because it's like, oh, this is that moment, and I own when Vladdy put it up for sale. So there's a lot of potential, but again, takes a lot of education before we get there.
For sure. Definitely. For sure.
But Striplings, I don't mean to negate Stripling. Sounds like he's actually doing that, which is really cool.
Yeah, and it was happening in the Jays clubhouse, similar to, on a smaller scale, but based on the conversations that I had with both Romano and Stripling last year and throughout the season, it was snowballing. It was something they were talking about and showing each other on their phones, and certainly an app would make that better, and trading would make that substantially better. Imagine the different players that would have had cards sent to them by Stripling or Romano last year had that been a functionality that they had access to. So I went on a whole rant about trading and that functionality on my Talking Candy live stream last week. So I'll bite my tongue, but it is a huge miss, continues to be a huge miss. This is a collectibles company. It needs to be there. So we can leave that at that. But,
all right. Wait a second. Speaking of, since we're on the Stripling train, I think we're 6 minutes away from first pitch in San Francisco. Do a brief hiatus, and then we can come back to Code Breakers after Giants Mets game today. Should we get our picks in with the 5-minute window left?
Let's do it.
Who wants to start it off?
Stripling.
It's Miguel.
Giants.
Yeah, you can't bet against
Giants.
Stripling. I'll go contrarian. I'll go Mets.
Oh, I've been wanting.
I'll say fellow candy ambassador Alonso takes Stripling deep.
Okay.
I don't know if you can call taking the 14-8 Mets over the 7-13 Giants contrarian.
That's fair. Yeah. That is fair. Contrarian within this live stream.
Yeah. Boys, I've been wanting to do this for 6 straight episodes so far and haven't had the chance to. I'm going to pull the Lee Corso.
Oh, nice.
Let's go, Giants.
There we go.
All right. So we'll have some movement then. Who won last week? It was Astros and
we got
Rangers?
swept last week. We all took an L.
Rangers. Okay. So there'll be movement here. Eric's 2-0. Or sorry, 2-1.
Did we all? No, I took Houston last week, I thought.
We all took Houston and lost.
Okay,
yeah,
right.
Yeah, Rangers.
Yeah.
I was gonna say if you guys took the Rangers, you were.
No, we all took. But let me write this down. Okay, so Giants, Mets. All right.
Hopefully, I need to get more hats so I can do that every week.
I like it.
Bounce back game for Strip.
There we go. I agree too. I would love to see it.
Now when we get Stripling on this podcast, he's gonna be like, Greg can't be on. Sorry.
Yeah.
I saw his take.
We went with McGill.
Yeah. I do want to touch on the rest of the candy a little bit.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you, Nate, if you asked me to bet, I would have said that this month in baseball sold out after showstoppers, after the first couple weeks of This Week in Candy or This Week in Baseball or whatever. Why do you think the historical drop didn't sell out? Price point?
Yeah. I felt that these were a little bit expensive, not because the premium collectibles aren't worth it, which I think that they're really cool. And if you look at the videos, they're even better, like it's extended, but I think it's just a little bit too expensive for what the downside is. And if you pull a bunch of cores and uncommons, which is very likely to happen, I think that we're seeing people really sink their teeth into packs like Showstoppers or the 2022 All-Stars or even the 2022 Hall of Fame for an amount of time, because the Lego hit rate, the 1 of 1, it's palatable. Like it's something that you feel like is obtainable. Even if you are only ripping 10 packs, if the odds are 1 in 50, so people are willing to pay a little bit more for things like that, and slightly different scale because those packs are, $150 packs. Showstoppers start at 43, but yeah, to get back to what you're saying, I just think that they're a little bit expensive for what the downside is. Now, that being said, it's an extremely interesting landscape here because as you can see the timer up at the top, in 22 days, 17 hours and 2 minutes, they're going to burn whatever doesn't sell.
Yeah.
And that means that if only 500 of these packs sell, 2/3 of it's gone. And those epics out of 10 are all of a sudden epics out of 3. And it's Ohtani's first home run ever. And it could become one of the most valuable individual assets on the entire candy platform. So I don't think this is a bad product. And I never really know what Candy's objective is on a given drop, because maybe they didn't want it to sell out. I don't know. Maybe they wanted it to be a slow bleed, because I do think people are going to keep buying these. Similarly, the 2022 Uncut Diamonds, those took a couple months to sell out, but they did sell out and they were worthy of selling out. The product was worthy of that. So we'll see. 30 days is a long time. I think that these could potentially sell out. I think that it's just going to take people wanting to, all right, I'll rip one of these, I'll rip another one, and work our way up to it. But
yeah,
I think it's just a lot up front.
I think you're exactly right. And Eric, if you want to share my screen here, just for context, for those that aren't aware of what's in here, this is the full list of what you get. So yeah, to your point, Nate, like anything core up is kind of like cool, but all these firsts that hit in uncommon through the epic Shohei are pretty cool. But yeah, I love that you brought up how they're going to burn them away. It's going to be fascinating to watch what the unopened ones still in the marketplace go for, and then also just like how much higher people will chase Shohei if there are in fact 3. So I have one that I haven't ripped yet. I bought it and I wanted to buy more, but thank God I only bought one at the time. But might dabble with another just to play that gamble of how much more an unopened one could go for when post burn. We'll see.
Yeah, I bought one and I have not opened it either. Yeah. Just sitting on it. Not exactly sure what to make of it yet. Yeah. I do think that they did a nice job with it. I like the wooden casing on the play that differentiates it from the play of the weeks. And I love the burn schedule on both the play of the weeks and this month in baseball. I think that that's something that they desperately needed, because anytime we had a drop that didn't go real well last year, there was this looming cloud of, okay, now what? And to be proactive is not something that Candy did super well last year. And it seems to be a huge point of emphasis this year. And I commend them for that, because it's giving people comfort in making plays. Because if you're someone that bought one of these, you don't particularly care if they sell out, because if they don't sell out, then the thing that you bought is going to be even more scarce.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really good way to give people confidence in their purchase.
Yeah. I bet we see towards that last day or so, we see a big uptick. And maybe if we don't sell out, we'll get pretty close.
Yeah.
There's some awesome stuff on that list, man. I'm just reading this stuff over as you guys are looking at. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, even in the cores, 369 as a core is not bad compared to what we've seen out there with, some of the open mints from last year. So yeah, they're really doing a nice job with the scarcity this year, I think.
Yeah. And I just got to say, as a Sox fan, rude to give us a Xander, rude to give us a Mookie in the Sox uniform. Come on.
Yep.
Come on.
For sure. Love that Devers first career grand slam. If you want to kick it back over to me, I've got the floors. So there's actually, you know what? There was an Ohtani listed for like, I don't know, $500,000 or something like that. Not listed right now. Have to take a look and see if that's sold or pulled or what. But as you can see, the Acuna first home run, the Harper first hit, and the Vladdy first hit are sitting up at the top there with pretty substantial floors. Let's see if anything's sold here. 3 sales on Acuna,
wow,
all around $150. So, it's a weird, the sales on the rare stuff are always a little bit low. I'm using the term rare generically. I don't literally mean rare, but the more scarce elements of a given drop, there is by default more supply right around the drop date. And for those people who rip with the intention of selling the profit, they're competing. But then as you can look at with showstoppers and a variety of other things, all of a sudden that mint count of 35 shows its face, because you get a few sales and it's getting under ripped because it's undersold. Now all of a sudden there's nothing left. And if you want one of these Acuñas, it's going to be $300 or $400 to buy it. And it's kind of already sitting right there right now. So anything with this level of rarity, this level of scarcity is really intriguing. And Candy has shifted their whole model back to that. And, the showstoppers packs have a very, very similar feeling to the 2021 drop and how that appreciated. So I just think that there's upside here on plays that are not going to get stale. There are going to be certain play of the weeks that just don't work out because there just wasn't that much to be excited about that week. But there's always going to be a fan base for the plays that they're picking here. And so I'm reserving all judgment on any of this stuff for a couple months, because this is an entirely new version of Candy. And I want to see how it plays out, over multiple this month in baseball drops. So let's talk in August,
Yeah, love that. It goes back to what we always say. Like if this platform can stick around and be around in 5 years, Acuna first hit out of 35 or less. Are you kidding me?
Yep.
Like, so it's always just that gamble. Will we be around in 5 years? And if we are, all this stuff is going to be unreal.
That's awesome.
For the record, it looks like that Ohtani was pulled because I don't see any sales. So I think just the one pulled so far.
Nice.
So only one of the 10 has been pulled?
I believe so, yeah.
Whoa.
I could swear I saw it on the marketplace the other night.
Wow.
I'm watching live right here. I noticed out of the corner of my eye when I was pulling something up that I had jumped to 54th, and top 50 is a tier 3, like right on the break of each tier. And Bogarts has one more at bat up in the 9th. So coming down to the wire.
Speaking of, I meant to say this before. I was not going to win a tier 2 limited last week. I was going to win a tier 3. And then for anybody that was watching Sunday Night Baseball, Marcus Semien had other ideas with his grand slam. That changed everything for me. So that's the fun of Sunday Night Baseball, man. That's fantasy sports right there.
I've lost my first 3 weeks of just general fantasy. I've been within like 2 points and lost it in Sunday Night Baseball. It's like my curse this season.
Brutal.
Like it just has happened to come down to that. But
both sides of it, it's tough.
Yeah.
I think the last thing would be to dive into code breakers a little bit, but it sounds like we're delayed on that from Monday to Thursday. I mean, we were in the chat this week when they dropped. I had a blast. I haven't ripped so many packs in my life. I went in, and it's funny how fast $5 adds up. You know, it's single price of $5, but you're like, oh, you know, I need like 4 of each, you know. We got 3 Trouts out of 4 rips, no Otanis. I got a J-Rod 1 out of 2 packs for the Mariners. I got a Judge 1 out of 2 packs. So some really fun stuff. You know, Greg and I had talked about this last week on the show, but the code breaker is something that I'm really excited for, and the core is out of 1,000. I'm excited to take a look at that this week. I really hope it's not extremely heavy of a lift when it comes to time and like engagement, because I'm spread a little bit thin. But if we can make it manageable, I would love to kind of stay on top of that and play around with it. Greg, are you too?
I'm excited for it too. I kind of have had a preconceived notion of what it's going to be, and then based on some of the announcement they made and some of the visuals that they've shared, I've been thrown a little bit. And just the idea that like you work together with people in the Discord, I'm excited about that. But it's not. I pictured it way more of like a 1-to-1 experience between a user and the platform. So I'm excited to see what happens. And as annoying as it is that they pushed it, and as annoying as it is they've had this date in mind, whatever, get it right.
Yep.
So
yeah,
we can wait a couple days.
Which is why they said they pushed it. They identified some, we'll call it a bug. You know, they identified something that was going to impede the user experience, and that's just never a good thing. So between the two evils, I think pushing it to Thursday was a good play if they knew that Monday was not going to go smoothly. So apparently that is the typical schedule anyway, is both Monday and Thursday. So they just pushed the first one out to day number 2. So, you know, we don't really know. We're speculating right now. I think that the way that the packs are designed is pretty nice. Kind of what you just said, Eric, is that it's got this very cheap entry point where, I'll rip a pack. It's the fun of ripping a pack. The cards do look nice. They're not super valuable, but they're serving a purpose, and they just made it really affordable for anybody that wanted to jump in. And it's good to as we've seen with common contests with Sorare, it's good to have that really low friction entry point, even if it is a little bit of money in this case. So I hope that the game is something that people enjoy. I know that, or I think my understanding is that based on there's like tiers to how quickly it gets answered or something like that. So if you're in that first bracket, you get X prize, and if you fall into the second pool, you get, you know, the secondary prize. So we'll see what those prizes look like in terms of value and how people react to them. Again, I didn't beta test it. I don't have a ton of, you know, there's no real knowledge here. We're just kind of speculating on what it might be, and I hope that it's something good that drives people to the website that they enjoy engaging with.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about this last week and speculated on. They had mentioned Wordle, like it's similar to Wordle.
Yep.
And we talked about how MLB has a Wordle style game on the MLB Play app called Pickle, where you're trying to identify players based on age, position, hometown, all that stuff. So if it's any way similar to that, I think, you know, it'll be pretty fun. But that and then discussion in the Discord got me thinking about, do you guys have the MLB Play app?
It's no, like, I still need to get on that.
It has Beat the Streak, which is like pick 56 players in a row to get a hit and win $5.6 million, which no one has done in like a decade.
Yeah, they've been doing that a long time. I think I was playing that in like high school or college or something.
Yeah, and no one has. I think the high is like 48 or something. But it has that. It has a fun kind of like, it has bingo. Like if you're watching a game, it just will fill in squares based of a bingo card, and you call bingo if you know you get bingo. Solbro has it. So anyway, there's a bunch of like mini games that you can either play whenever you want or while you're watching a game. And I was thinking, oh, 21's not bad. That's better really than mine in the past 10 years. But I was thinking like how, and I know this is logistically it is very dependent on the league and all that, but like you're competing in this thing against yourself. You're getting prizes that are like an avatar for your profile or a background, or if you're lucky, you get like a week of MLB TV or whatever. But like throw a candy pack in there, throw a team pack in there. Like let these MLB fans who are already engaged in a web experience, in a secondary experience to watching, that is a perfect entry point to get people on the platform. We know it's a $5 price point. Give them a free pack if they're new to it, or they hit a streak of 20. There, you get a free pack of your choosing, team of your choosing. So, probably will be some time, but that's a perfect avenue to get new users on the platform.
Lots of possibilities.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
Sweet. It should be fun. We'll check in with that next week for sure. Any final thoughts here as we close out the episode?
I just hope my So Rare lineups look better next week.
Yeah.
And we'll, the three of us at least will collaborate on code breakers, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
We'll throw our answers into the mix.
I think we're gonna set up a code breaker specific channel in the Talking
nice.
Discord. So
nice.
Hopefully we'll have a nice little hub of communication in there.
Nice. I'll have to join you all in there. I had this. We've not been doing the best job about keeping up with the underdog, but that's okay. We'll get back into it. I had a couple of picks. We've been doing okay on the underdog picks. I've been doing pretty good on the units this year. So underdog and prize picks and Thrive. Like if you guys want to jump on those, there's links down in the description for those in my beacons. But I had Lindor over a single today, and then I took a cool thing about underdogs. You can play rivals up against each other too. So my second leg was actually Lamont Wade to beat Tyro Estrada in total bases. You got to pick, one from each team. And this is kind of like the Sunday night thing that I cooked up. And Lamont Wade's been a little bit slow, but I'm hoping that he gets a nice, has a nice game today. So
cool.
Had that. Yeah, that's about it.
Love it. Another fun week, gentlemen.
It's been a blast.
Yes.
Yeah, let me see here who we got. It looks like most people are on the Mets. We had DJ Local on the Mets, Soulbro on the Mets, Cool Winners on the Giants. He's having a lucky day, so hopefully he hits on that one too. John Riley on the Mets, Hud's Dog in a little bit late with the Erod hashtag, but we appreciate you anyways.
What's up, Paul?
All right, yeah, that's all I got. One of you can close it down if you want.
Hey, I'm happy that the Red Sox are playing baseball worth watching. So
agreed.
Enjoying that, and hoping my guy Strip can right the ship tonight and go Giants.
And I'm putting it on record that I'm a fan of you, Stripling. I am a fan of you. I took the other. It was just for the sake of good content.
It was all for the content.
Of course.
All right, we're out. We'll be back same time next week, 6 p.m. Pacific. I screwed that up again. 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, the Weekly Walkoff. Thanks, guys.
See ya.